UFC 312 just took place, and I'm going to go through the entire card, early prelims to the main event, break down each fight, and give you my opinion in reaction to those fights. We started off with the early prelim opener being Killen Sakalid versus Angel Jubilee. Press F to pay respects to our boy Angel Jubilee. That boy got cooked. You could smell the curry coming out of him. He got cooked so hard. Bit of an early stoppage. No, it wasn't. It was not an early stoppage. It was a fast stoppage because that boy got absolutely annihilated in 19 seconds. Sakalid started the fight with a couple kicks, and then just a right down the middle. And that boy was dreaming. It was a very impressive win. I picked Sakalid to get it done, and he did, and that is how you're supposed to beat Angel Jubilee if you're going to beat anything in the sport. So, congrats to Sakalid. Great debut, about as perfect as it could have gone. I don't got much to say because nothing really happened. Rip to Jubilee. I will say after the fight, he started raging like he was short in his register at the end of the night in his 7-Eleven shift. So that was pretty funny. Jonathan Mikulev, he beat Kevin Jusay, which is what I predicted because I thought Mikulev he had that build on him. He had that build. I did not see the way he won coming though. Yes, I thought like a decision was very capable, but that boy was landing the meanest left kicks to the body I've ever seen, and he was switching it up brilliantly because then he threw a left high kick that knocked Jusay down in the first round. Those body kicks, they were literally the loudest body kick. I thought I was in World War III. I was faking disabilities to get out of the draft because of how many pops were going off right there. Jonathan Mikulev got it done, 29-28 decision. It was a decent little fight, and just saying, your first UFC win being against Kevin Jusay is kind of insane. So, I'm excited to follow Mikulev's career. I think he looked like he could be really good. He seems like a really nice guy too, which is cool. You love to see it. I went 2-0 so far. 2-0. But then, Rongju versus Cody Steele. I went with Cody Steele, and I think I played with the odds a little too much. I saw how much of a favorite he was. I saw his record. I saw people saying that Rongju isn't that great and that his experience is kind of just fluky, blah, blah, blah. I bought into it. Rongju looked pretty good out there. He won all 3 rounds. The first round was one of the greatest first rounds I've ever seen in a UFC fight. Those boys were swinging. Those boys were swinging so hard I thought it was a playground. Second round starts. Rongju's jab was just on, and then when they'd start swinging, it just felt like Rongju had more power. Cody Steele did not approach this fight very good, especially on UFC debut. I got this pick wrong, but I honestly am totally fine with it because it gave us one of the best fights I've seen in a minute. So congrats to them. Alexander Topuria made his debut and beat Colby Thickness by decision very clearly. He looked good. I don't know. It's very hard to judge these fighters on one UFC fight, especially when it goes all 3 rounds, judges scorecards, facing a guy on short notice. Now, I think Topuria can benefit from being less patient, but that also seems just what he's strong at. He's very patient. He's very calculated, very dialed in. Landed some really good body shots. Has great timing, landed a big suplex, great takedown defense. Like, he did nothing wrong. It just was kind of just like a whatever decision, you know? I don't know. I don't think he'll ever be Ilya, you know? There's no chance. Ilya's literally like GOAT potential, so people even acting like he's going to get close to that is crazy. Make me eat my words. Make me eat my words, I dare you. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. As for Thickness, nice job. You showed up. You're savage. You showed up on short notice. Moving on. Kong Lang just ran through her. Bruna Brazil looked terrified. She was literally running away from Kong. Wong. I'm canceled. She actually looks like she knows how to fight. She's got like a proper stance. You know, she actually looks like she participates in MMA, which is different for women's MMA. Dominant decision. Bruna Brazil literally looks like she loses to Wong Kong. What the hell? Wang Kong. Why was I fumbling her name so bad? I'm cooked. Anyways, Wang Kong beats Bruna Brazil 10 out of 10 times. Literally. So, I don't know. She's very fast. I don't know how she has a loss on her record. Like, it's kind of crazy. Very fluky, in my opinion. Seems weird. She looked great out there. It's women's MMA. I don't really care. Moving on. Going into this fight, I was 4-1 on picks. Tom Nolan versus Borshev. I'll tell you, when I saw them side by side, I felt like a pipsqueak coward. Tom Nolan's just a boy. Borshev's a whole man over there. But I picked Nolan. I liked his well-roundedness. I thought he was going to use a lot more wrestling, and I feel like a lot of people probably did too. I think Tom Nolan probably thought so too. But he was dialed in on the feet, and I'll tell you, I am so impressed with this man's timing. The way he mixes up strikes, knees, elbows, spinning attacks, like great timing, perfectly executed. My biggest criticism is that he went for way too many spinning attacks. He spun like 12 times in this fight. It was ridiculous. He landed the Shara double spin like a couple times even. Borshev's good. You know, he's solid. There's a reason he was a favorite. I went with Tom Nolan, and I feel like a genius for it. He didn't win the way I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to use a lot more grappling. But we did see that involved Borshev's just a serious veteran in the game. Tom Nolan, big win. Super excited. I think he could be a problem at lightweight. Like, he looked really good. Had no moments where he was in trouble in this fight. I'm excited for Tom Nolan. Jenkins took on Gabriel Santos. I went with Jack Jenkins, and man, after that first round, I thought I had it. I thought I had it in the bag. Jack Jenkins knocked him down with a beautiful head kick. Didn't get it done. And then in the second round, Santos dominated with the wrestling, and I said, okay, that's fine. Third round, he's going to go for it. Stay on the feet, Jack Jenkins all day. I was wrong. Santos is just way faster. He had a clear advantage in the grappling. And again, just clear advantage in the speed. Caught him with a front kick to the face. Ended up getting a submission. Rear naked choke. He looks like a problem down there in featherweight. I thought Jenkins was like a really good underdog pick, and I think a lot of people can agree with that at least. But yeah, Santos really did just look much better than him all around. When you look at the 3 rounds, Jenkins did catch him in the first, but Santos really dominated the last 2. Then on the main card of the pay-per-view time, bangers only, Jake Matthews fought, I don't even remember his name. I do, Francisco Prado. Don't get me wrong, I loved this fight. I thought this fight was really good. Main card of a pay-per-view is crazy. Anyways, Jake Matthews went out there and did what he does. He looks like really good. It's very surprising to me that he's not top 15 or hasn't been. Landed great combos. He mixed it up super well. I was impressed with Jake Matthews, but again, he's facing a 22-year-old kid who's 12-2, doesn't have that much experience. It was an easy pick for me to go with Jake Matthews. And that's exactly what I did, and he got a beautiful decision. I believe they gave 30-27. What I'll say about Francisco Prado is he's got a crazy chin on him. He was eating shots. Jake Matthews just looked way more technical and way cleaner. The numbers were a lot closer than it looked like in the fights because Jake Matthews was just so much more precise and clean with it. He called out Neil Magny. He's the gatekeeper for the top 15. Let's get it done so Jake Matthews can hopefully enter the top 15. I think he's honestly a really fun fighter to watch. I think he's cool. Give him some fun matchups. Jimmy Crute took on Rodolfo Bellato. I went with Rodolfo Bellato, and that boy got smoked in the first round here. He went for a takedown and somehow landed on the bottom. He body lock and took him down so hard that he hit the ground first. It was unbelievable. And then Jimmy Crute ended up dropping him really bad at the end of the first. Honestly, debatably could have been stopped. He dropped him so bad. There was a short time left. They let it go to the second. I wasn't mad at it. Then he bounced back really well in the second round. This was insanely close. Live scoring it, I had no idea. Like, I was like, that's anyone's round. Figured they'd give it to Crute because they're in Australia. Third round, and it was very impressive of him to recover like that. Third round, clearly Bellato, he just did a lot more, landed better. It was a super close fight, and I think the judges got it right, honestly. They gave a 10-8 to Jimmy Crute in the first round, which I think is fair because the strike totals were 49-2. I think that's fair. He got all the control time as well. And then the second and third they gave to Bellato, which I'm not mad at. I think that was a good decision. It came out as a draw. So there's going to be no penalty on my picks here for that one. Jimmy Crute looked okay. He actually looked okay on the feet, which has never been said before. But then he started to look like Jimmy Crute in the second and third round. It was an exciting fight. It was honestly very entertaining. Again, pay-per-view fight makes it really suck. But if this was like a prelim fight, I'd be hyping this fight up so much. But anyways, it was a draw. And I think they actually got that right. So I'm happy with it. And then what did I tell you, boys? It may be like one singular female. Taliesin Teixeira versus Justin Tafa. Now this pick had me scared because Justin Tafa has beat taller, lengthier opponents in the past like Austin Lane. He's cooked. He's not good. He's a terrible fighter. He just has that ability to knock you out in one punch. But so do I, you know? Give me one clean strike. Anywho, Taliesin Teixeira went out there, immediately went for like a takedown, kneed Tafa in his third breakfast. He kneed him so hard he tasted his third eggs and bacon, and then hit him with a beautiful elbow that just destroyed his nose. He crumbled to the mat. Teixeira landed ground and pound. Teixeira got it done. Like, I don't even know how long the fight went. It was like maybe less than a minute. It was just an easy win, and I'm very glad. And he won me money off of it, so thank you. Handshakes. Talison Teixeira looks like a problem. He does. I say, heavyweight's just so boring. Just throw him up the rankings. I don't even mind if he gets a top 15 guy after that. Absolutely dominant. Maybe he gets someone just outside the rankings, one more fight, and then you put him up in the rankings, top 15 guy. I don't know. We'll see. It was a great performance. I don't know if they've tested this man for anything because it's his UFC debut, so that boy might be sauced up. He might be geeking. He might have some of that Poirier barbecue sauce and secret juice from Paulo Costa in his system, but either way, it's against Justin Tafa. I don't care. Get him out of the sport. He's not good. How are you going to kick Rosenstrike out of the UFC, but not Justin Tafa? Moving on. Oh, by the way, that was the feature fight. That was the feature fight on a pay-per-view. That was a feature fight. Moving on. Weili Zhang took on Tatiana Suarez. I went with Tatiana Suarez. I'm an idiot. Poor Tatiana. I honestly felt really bad for her. First round, she went out there, got a takedown, super easy. I was like, yep, I'm a genius. She's easily going to win this. I'm surprised she wasn't the underdog in this fight, and especially after watching it, you're like, Jesus, there's a skill gap there. She clearly won the first round, even pulled a guillotine, which was not the smartest thing, but it was on Weili's way back up, and there was only like a minute left, so I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't that mad at it. Second round, Weili goes out there and kind of dominates. She also fell on bottom of her own takedown, and that frustrated me. And then in the third round, clearly dominant round for Weili. I had her up 2-1. I don't remember what round it happened in, but Suarez hit the canvas so hard, her knee got a gash in it, and it was a nasty gash. It looked like Freddy Krueger got a hold of her. And I felt so bad for this woman because she was literally asking her coaches, like, how does my knee look? She didn't even want to look at it. And they were like, it's not bad. Brother, my future looks better than her knee did. It was crazy. Like, it made her very tentative. And I'm not making excuses for her. She got lit up. She was super outclassed in this fight. Even in the fifth round, Weili dominated. But Tatiana she did not set up her takedowns at all. She was just shooting nonstop. No strikes were thrown. She then began to start worrying about takedowns because every time she failed one, she'd slam her knee into the canvas and would visibly, like, take a minute to stand up because she was probably like, ow. Weili's just really good. She's a really good female fighter, and poor Tatiana. I fell for the hype. Looking back on it, I don't know. This is like one of those picks that you look back on and you're like, wow, I'm kind of an idiot. I'm kind of a casual. I'm not a casual. I did really good on picks on this card. But that's one I got wrong, and I'm upset about it. But it's okay. Weili's cool. I don't know why I have this like thing in my head where I'm like, Weili's not that cool of a champion. I know she's super inactive, but like so was Suarez. So, and then in the main event, Dricus took on Sean Strickland. I went with Dricus. I said fourth round submission. That did not happen. He just completely dominated Sean Strickland for 5 rounds. Now, I'm not making excuses because I literally picked Dricus and I kind of wanted Dricus to win. Did Sean Strickland have like staph infection? Because, we saw the staph infection on his arm. It looked like it. Was this man sick or something? Because he was not doing nothing in that fight. Maybe he had like a fever and just did not want to throw nothing. I know Strickland's very patient. I know he's like boring to a lot of people. He did less than he normally does in his boring fight. So I don't know what was going on there. He wasn't throwing the teep, which I think the teep kick would have been money because it was in the first fight. Every time he got close, Dricus just lunged at him. Dricus' ability to throw kicks from short range is insane. He switches it up a lot. He throws kick combos. It's insane. His question mark kick is magical. He landed with the toes on Strickland's face like 8 times in this fight, and I was like, oh my god. Landed huge spinning back fists, huge spinning elbow. Don't know how Sean Strickland didn't go down from that. And then I believe it was in the 4th round, a straight right down the middle to Strickland's nose. Strickland kind of sits there and he says, huh? And then he backs up and his nose just starts gushing blood. Broke his nose super bad. Strickland's a savage, though. He fixed it. He set it in the middle of the fight and then went on, walked him down some more. Clearly did not want to be hit in the face after that, though, because obviously you have a broken nose. You do not want to get hit. It was a very sad performance from Strickland. Like, very sad. I thought that this fight was going to be way closer. 50-45, I gave it to Dricus. All 5 rounds, he just dominated. Strickland did nothing in this fight. He didn't make any excuses after. He did, I did this for you guys, America. It was pretty cool. He said he'd break his nose any day for us, so that's why we're fans, Sean. That's why we're fans. Hopefully he gets some fun matchups down the line. I don't know. Feels like Strickland was kind of mentally checked out of this one, and especially after he broke his nose. Like, that's kind of valid, though. I would be crying for my mother. So, it is what it is. I thought the fight was going to be more entertaining. I thought it was going to be better. It was entertaining, don't get me wrong. I think Drickus did a lot to make it entertaining. I just mean, I thought it was going to be more competitive. But that's a huge win for Drickus. He clearly has leveled up a lot, like I said. He called out Pereira? That would be crazy. But no, I think you do Drickus versus Hamzat. I don't even know who I'd lean. I'd want Drickus to win, but it's hard to pick against Hamzat right now. I don't know. That's a discussion for another time. But yeah, that's my event recap. Let me know what you guys thought of the event. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Very, very fun stuff here. I'll be back tomorrow for every fight to make after UFC 312. Keep in mind, I'm only going to name a couple fights because this card's so bad. I'm sorry, I'm not naming Jimmy Crute's next fight. Anyways, have a good one.